A Way Out is one of the greatest co-op experiences in video game history. That's it. Video's over. But not actually though, I got a lot more to say. Last week, a friend of mine from high school came down to visit, and each time he does so, we find a co-op game to play through for the downtime. Last time, it was Cuphead, which brought about this clip. But this time, we went with A Way Out. This game was released as part of the EA Originals program, which for those who don't know is where EA helps fund and promotes an independent game project with no executive interference in exchange for some of the profits. Basically, it's the one thing modern EA has going for it besides Respawn. The main draw of this game is the fact that co-op is so integral to the experience, it is required that you play this game with at least one other person. This has always fascinated me, especially since playing the story mode of games cooperatively is my go-to way to experience this medium. But for some reason, I never had the drive to pick this game up myself. Now that I finally experienced it, however, I couldn't help but be blown away. Despite playing through dozens of games in co-op, few have offered an experience quite like this, and well, you all know where my brain wanders off to in these scenarios. Very quickly on, I felt there is something unique to how this game makes playing it with another person a far more commendable experience than it otherwise would be, and I'm curious to uncover why. As such, let's all take a deeper dive into this game and uncover how A Way Out revolutionized co-op. So for starters, you'll probably notice that I haven't touched on what you actually do in this game. Usually that's one of my first statements in these videos, to clarify what type of gameplay experience you're getting. I've even made an entire video about differentiating game types, so it's clearly something I've shown a lot of care about. As such, it begs the question, why haven't I clarified this game's genre? Well, that's because it doesn't really have one set formula. A Way Out prides itself on variety, not just in scenery or situations, but even in genre. One moment you'll be in a quick-time event fight scene akin to a Telltale game, then the next you're performing stealth takedowns and sneaking around like a certain eye patch man. You've even got later sections featuring Uncharted-esque third-person shooter sequences, vehicle chases with tight racing controls, and even a 2D beat-em-up to channel your inner Streets of Rage. As such, it becomes a key component to this game's formula for success. I'm someone who's played a wide modicum of game genres and a variety of different co-op experiences, but to have this many in a single 6-hour game is kind of insane, and I love it. There's a level of mastery and design to nearly all these different forms of gameplay that you're conditioned to expect early on. And so this game remains engaging for the simple fact that every single sequence, you and your friend will be doing something new, different, and fun to look forward to. Even if the game peaks when you get to play Connect 4.
Oh, I'm so good at this. It's embarrassing for you, man. Stupid game.
Now sometimes, too many differing things happening in one game can be tedious or overwhelming. Just take a look at the 360 reboot of Alone in the Dark for proof.
I'm the light bringer!
As such, you need some aspects of gameplay and level design to have a foundation, and A Way Out does just that. As some of you may know, this game is straight up impossible to play through single player, and that's because a focal point of this game is that you have to accomplish tasks through coordination with the other character, or more accurately player, to bypass the various objectives. This sounds like an obvious factor to a co-op game, but really think about it. Lego games, Halo games, classic Capcom beat-em-ups, Rayman Legends, all these classic games and series are legendary as definitive co-op experiences, but when you really stop and think about it, how many of them offer a different experience or require any actual coordination between players to progress? You could argue that's somewhat the case with the Lego series, but the point remains that most games use co-op as nothing more than a way to have someone tag along in your experience rather than deliver a new experience that depends on both players to succeed. A Way Out uses that as the foundation to structure all its different gameplay sequences, and so as drastic as gameplay experiences might be, you understand this idea. Player 1 passes through a metal detector and reaches the other side of a wall for Player 2 to hand them a wrench. Player 1 makes a lot of motion to scare away fish and send them towards Player 2 to skewer them with a spear. Player 1 pitches a baseball for Player 2 to send it spiraling towards a bystander. You get the basic idea. Nearly every moment of gameplay depends on a joint effort from both players to succeed, making it far more engaging and satisfying of a shared experience. So all that we've discussed covers how the gameplay helps create a fantastic co-op experience, but there's another aspect of this game that does so as well, and that's the story. It's kind of interesting to think that I haven't mentioned the story yet, so let me give you a brief synopsis. A Way Out follows Leo and Vincent, two prison convicts with a common foe named Harvey. After Vincent stands up for Leo and the two learn more about one another, they team up and hatch a plan to escape prison and bring Harvey to justice. Nearly the entire story of this game is focused on the connection between these two characters, and through cleverly written dialogue, you build a connection to them both, helped by the fact you're likely to link one to yourself and the other to whichever friend or family member you happen to play this game with. It takes any camaraderie established between the real-world players, applies it, and then reinforces it, adding to the overall co-op experience. That said, it does feel like there's a goal with it, like the game wants you both to attach yourselves to these characters, but I'm sure that's not going to come up in the story at all. No.
I'm sorry, Leo.
No! No! So yeah, let's talk about that twist. Throughout the entire game, you expect the showdown against Harvey to be the climax of the story, and in the later cutscene of the two returning home, to wrap everything up in a neat little bow. But oh, how wrong you are. It turns out Vincent was an undercover cop the entire time, and rather than ending off with that, the game pits you in one final sequence, a face-off between our two leads. That's right. This game turns the connection established with your fellow player and character against you in a PvP final battle. This gut-wrenching showdown forces both players to engage in a fight to the death for any sense of closure, and it is absolutely genius. What ended up being especially impactful playing this with my friend is that we both sided with the other's character, meaning to achieve the outcome we wanted, the other had to win. Prisoner's dilemma my armpit. So yeah, this final section subverted my expectations and turned this from a fun, varied game into an unforgettable experience. In showcasing this game at E3, creator Joseph Fares stated after you finish playing A Way Out, you will play a co-op game like never before. And I can now confidently say truer words have never been said on that stage before or since. So to summarize, A Way Out revolutionized the co-op experience through 4 key ways. It presents a variety of gameplay scenarios to always offer something new, designed said scenarios in a way that requires genuine coordination to succeed, established a connection through writing and characterization to help players project their own camaraderie onto the characters, and lastly, turns that camaraderie against the players in a memorable, terrific final sequence to offer both players an unforgettable ending. This is all to say that A Way Out was a fantastic game, well deserved of its near unanimous appraisal, and has cemented itself in my mind as the definitive co-op experience. Or rather, the second most. But that's a tale for another day. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed, be sure to slice that like button in half, subscribe to my channel if you are new, and share this video around. Also, I'm curious what your own favorite co-op game would be, so feel free to leave a comment letting me know, and I'll read it as soon as I can. Anyways, once again, hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.